Hey everybody, it's Mike. So, as I do every morning, I just got up and I'm looking at my comments to look for things to talk about because I see this channel as a discussion. And so there are people who still have problems with my definitions of things that I have applied to myself, which I share with you. And as always, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to point out if I think you're in denial, if I think you're passive aggressive, if I think that you're lacking in some awareness or education about, um, the dynamic between codependence and borderlines. And I'm going to share it with you. Again, this channel is devoted to non borderlines who have been in a romantic relationship with somebody who has severe and untreated borderline personality disorder. It doesn't apply to you if you don't fit within that. This channel doesn't apply to you if you are perfectly happy in your life. If you're happy in your life and there's no pain and there's no misery and your life is going 100% well and your relationships are going beautifully, this channel doesn't apply to you. You're free to watch, but this isn't who this is designed for. This is designed to help those people who have been in or are currently in a romantic relationship with a borderline, and they're still, like I felt, in a lot of pain and wanting to get their lives back. If you don't fit within that and you don't like what I'm saying, I'm okay with that. So, I have been reacting to the reactions on my channel and creating a dialogue. Let me once again state to you, I don't have any need for you to believe a certain way or act a certain way. As I said, though, I'm going to respond to what you bring up for the discussion for other people. It's very likely that the people who, don't like what I'm saying and have all kinds of thoughts about what I'm saying, it's probably unlikely that I'm going to convince them of anything or change their mind, because what happens to most people is that when they get entrenched in a belief and you start to challenge that belief, they get more entrenched in the belief. So I'm not expecting to change your minds if I'm coming to you with my thoughts. Maybe I will. It's fine if I don't. It's really for everybody else to watch and gauge what's going on with themselves and to learn from the discussion and make their own conclusions. I am not a therapist. I am not a licensed mental health care professional. You should not take anything I say as a substitute for actual health care advice from a mental health professional. All right? So I'm just going to get right into that because I have other work I got to do this morning, but let's get right into the comments here. So this is coming from Silverstorm, who has left 2 comments today. This is on one video, loving a borderline, what is codependency? Are you a codependent or a caretaker? So, people have had a real hard time with the words that I use. Interestingly enough, the people who have the most problems with me right now are all non-borderlines, partners of borderlines or ex-partners of borderlines. The borderlines, to my knowledge, except for one that came on and said some abusive things and I blocked her, but for the most part, the ones in recovery seem to like what I'm saying from what I'm seeing, which is really not at all what I expected from this channel. People who don't like it are the non-borderlines, who don't want to be told that they're codependent, and they don't want to be told that they themselves have a dysfunction, however you want to look at it, on an equal par with borderlines. They want to see themselves as different. They want to see themselves as superior, as less mentally ill, whatever words you want to use. And they really want me to just tell them that they're either innocent victims or they're just people with nothing but good intentions who are caretakers. And I'm here to tell you that being a codependent of somebody who has a very serious dysfunction, whether you want to call it a mental illness or not, I don't care. But if you are with somebody who has a very serious toxic dysfunction when they're untreated, and you choose to be with them, and it causes a lot of pain and havoc in your life, that is a symptom that there's something very wrong with you. You can take that personally if you want. It doesn't change the fact. The other question I want for you is, are you happy? If you're happy in your life, who cares what I say? Go on with your life. This is for people who are struggling with pain and trying to get the happiness back in their life. And I'm sharing with them what helped me, which was to become ruthlessly honest, look at myself, and see that I was just as screwed up as the borderline that I was trying to help. And I wasn't, looking at myself and being brutally honest, I did it for all kinds of selfish, unconscious, narcissistic, and abusive reasons. You don't have to see that. It's okay. That's part of the deal. Codependency is largely an unconscious issue. Most codependents who are not, in awareness, are in tremendous denial and will vehemently defend, the righteousness of their actions. So this is Silverstorm. So Silverstorm, before I go any further, you and I have gone back and forth a couple times. I don't have any need to change your opinion. If you've come to the conclusion that I am, saying things wrong and having wrong conclusions and saying things that you don't like, that don't apply to you, I don't know what else to tell you. Go watch another channel. I really don't. I've stated my opinion very clearly. I'm not angry with you. I don't have a need for you to believe what I believe. Why do you need me to change the way I look at things? Why do you need me to change the way I define codependence, which has been helpful to me? Why do you need to do that? Because once again, you're not talking about yourself. So let me give you again, bear in mind, anybody who acts this way, the way I'm about to describe, you're going to bring me to the conclusion that you are in denial and that you are still in your codependence. That is number one, if you're going to try and control what I say and what I think. I didn't make this channel with the please help me understand this. I haven't made these videos asking, please help me, I don't know what this is all about. I'm not asking for anybody's help. I'm not asking for anybody's tutelage on anything. Nor am I asking for you to come and help some wound within me. So any advice you give me at this point is unsolicited. So codependents, when they're not in their awareness, give unsolicited advice. They don't give unsolicited advice because they care. They may think they care, but what's really going on is that they are uncomfortable. Something about the other person is making them uncomfortable, either consciously or unconsciously, and they're trying to silence that which is making them uncomfortable. If it's the borderline's pain and their helplessness, then they swoop in to help, consciously thinking, oh, I love them so much, I want to help them. Unconsciously, I want to stop this neediness and pain because it stimulates my unconscious neediness and pain. And if I can put out that fire, then I'll feel better. That's what's going on underneath it. If you point out something in them that they don't want to look at, their first response is going to be talking about you, how you're saying it wrong, how you're doing it wrong. They're not going to share their feelings, nor are they going to share their experience or their current situation. So they're not going to share anything about themselves. They're going to point fingers at me, and they're either going to try and passive aggressively change my thoughts, or they're going to try and say, I'm just trying to help, but you really need to look at this. Or they're going to try and caretake me without me having asked them, like, I think you're still suffering in this way and you need help with this and here. And then they're going to triangulate by, hey, so-and-so says this, and here's a video by so-and-so. And the bottom line is that they don't like what I'm saying. And instead of having the self-confidence to go, well, he's got a totally different opinion of this than I do. And if you leave one comment and I haven't changed my mind, they don't have the self-esteem to go, okay, well, Obviously, we believe differently. And you know what? I don't think I like this guy's channel and he doesn't really help me. So I'm going to unsubscribe and move on. Instead of that, they're going to double down, get more entrenched, and really try and control what I think. Because codependence is a dysfunction of control. People are codependent because they feel out of control. That's why they want to help, people who are really out of control, alcoholics, drug addicts, untreated borderlines. These are people who have, issues that they can't control. You can see when when they're acting out, they're out of control. They want to go and control them through trying to, quote, help them. But what's really going on is they're trying to quell the chaos within themselves that they are projecting and seeing in other people. And they're trying to make themselves feel better. They don't realize that. They think they're trying to make you feel better. But what's really going on is they're trying to make themselves feel better. All right? So with that said, I haven't read the comments yet, but here's my prediction. Silverstorm is not going to talk about, I don't know if it's a him or her, excuse me, is not going to talk about themselves, is not going to talk about their feelings or what I say and how it makes them feel. Going to point a finger at me at some point and tell me what I need in order to feel better. And the bottom line is I'm going to find whatever it was that I've said that bothers them at some point in it, and they won't have the ability to say, when you say it this way, it makes me feel like this. Instead, they're going to say, you need to change the way you think. All right? So again, this has gone back and forth, Silverstorm. So Silverstorm says, I shared this with you because she describes what it means to be counter-dependent. Maybe you are able to look at this side of yourself, and maybe you are not, Mike, but all I can do is plant the seed of truth. The rest is up to you. Healing ain't easy. So, obviously, according to Silverstorm, I need some healing. I haven't asked Silverstorm if Silverstorm can help me with my healing. I haven't asked for that. I've stated numerous times on my videos that I believe that I am in a state of recovery from codependence with borderlines. I'm actually very happy and very comfortable, and I'm here to share that with anybody who wants to listen. If you don't want to listen, go someplace else. I'm okay if you're okay. If you're happy, great. You're in a happy relationship with a borderline, great. You're happy with your life now, great. Go find why there's no need for you to be on my channel. So, again, nothing about that, and then leaves a video. So this is called triangulation. Here, I don't agree with what you said. There's something wrong with you, Mike. You need some healing. Here, take this video. It's a way of trying to shut me up. So I'm not gonna watch the video because I haven't asked for your help, Silverstorm. And you're trying to talk me out of my definition of codependence and my description of it and my experience of it by saying you want to talk about counterdependence. I haven't watched it, but I can only assume that you're going to say counterdependence is different, which means what you're trying to tell me is that you're not a messed up codependent who has all of these internal unconscious emotional problems, that it's something less, it's not that bad, and you need to stop talking about me like this. You haven't shared your experience that I can remember. Are you a borderline? Are you a partner of a borderline? Why is it that what I'm saying applies to you? What does it make you feel like? I'm telling you here and now, I'm not interested, nor will I be interested in any of your unsolicited advice or any of your attempts to try and give me what you think I need. If I need something from you, I will say, Silverstorm, can you help me figure out this so I can feel better? I'm not doing that. So please drop the unsolicited advice. I find it aggressive. And you're just simply trying to shut me up because something I'm saying is pushing buttons in you. What are those buttons? I'm more interested in that than in anything else. So then before, Silverstorm writes this huge comment in all caps. Hey, Mike, I'm putting this in caps not out of anger or anything that you may want to assume, but rather to get your attention. And now here comes the finger. Since you are in a cycle of responding to comments online, Well, then, look, all caps are all caps, and okay. When I write in all caps, it's because I'm trying to make a point. So it doesn't matter to me whether you're feeling angry or not. You're still feeling the need to change my opinion, and you're going to get my attention. So it's a way of control still. So with that said, yes, unconscious beliefs and getting needs and wants met in an unhealthy way. Didn't finish that sentence. I think you have been working hard on your journey. Again, codependent. So now here comes the compliment to draw me in. I haven't asked for whether or not you think I'm doing a good job. I don't need you to placate me with the false compliment. Let's get real. You want to change the way that I think. Something I'm saying is bothering you, and you want to change it. You don't have to sugarcoat it with a compliment that's not going to lure me into some way of wanting to hear what you have to say. I think you've been working hard on your journey, but until you can look at symptoms you have, meaning being codependent is not a disorder or a disease, it is a symptom of an original, I think this is wound from childhood. It is a symptom, not a separate disorder. So as I've said, I came on yesterday and I gave the most broad, inclusive definition of codependence I could find, which was that codependence is a relational symptom. It's a relationship dynamic. And I'll say it again. Anybody who gets in a relationship with a borderline, untreated borderline, that lasts for more than 24 or 48 hours is by definition a codependent because of the relationship dynamic. Codependent is somebody who ends up taking up the slack for somebody in some way. That doesn't mean just because you're a codependent that there's something wrong with you. You can be a conscious codependent. Two people in therapy, a borderline in therapy and a codependent in therapy, and they're working to get healthy together, doesn't change the fact that they're both codependents. But the bottom line is that you don't like feeling as though being a codependent is something, a disorder or a disease. You don't want to accept that there's something wrong with that. And instead of owning that, you're projecting onto me that there's something I'm not wanting to see about myself. And you're planting the seed to help me. Again, I haven't asked for it. Very codependent of you. Giving, repeated, unsolicited advice, not because you truly care, but because what I'm saying is bothering you and you want to shut me up. Consciously, you think you're trying to help me, but that's, our conscious minds mess with us. Your unconscious desires to shut me the hell up because what I'm saying is threatening to you. And now I know what it is. You don't want to feel like you have a disorder or a disease. But the question is, are you happy? If you're happy, then who cares what I call it? I'm happy. And I'm perfectly happy to say that my codependence, I'm happy to call it a disease. I'm happy to call it a mental illness. I'm happy to call it a disorder. It cost me a lot of time and money and self-esteem, and it was really tragically, horrifically painful and caused me to not be at my best in life. Call that whatever you want. It's not a good thing. So, this is really what it is. It is a symptom, in all caps, not a separate disorder. Okay, fine. Are you happy? Did it impede your life? Is your life still impeded? Are you still finding the need to argue with people about their thoughts about you? Again, I don't even know you. You're just a name, Silverstorm. I didn't knock on your door. I didn't take a picture of your face and paste it up on the internet and say, this person, Joe Schmo or Jane Schmain, is a really messed up codependent. Everybody beware of her. Nobody knows who you are. Nobody cares. Why do you care so much what I think? Just move on. Oh, now she's going to tell me why. I think it's a she. Again, I agree and have had the same kind of experiences with my ex-partner who has borderline. What do you mean? All right. Why they argue with you about what a codependent is very easy to understand on some of your viewers' comments. If you are with a borderline, are generalized and black and white thinking, and you have a channel and sharing information is responsibility, well, you know what? It's my responsibility to decide how I run my channel. That's my responsibility, not yours. If you think running a channel is a big responsibility and you think that somebody's responsibility is to tell the truth as you see it, then you do that on your channel. You should be making videos on your channel. You could be making videos like, other healthcare professionals, so far 2 of them have done, about me, saying how I'm screwed up and I'm wrong and I don't know what I'm talking about and I'm destructive. And if I didn't respond to the licensed healthcare, 2 of them, licensed healthcare professionals who have found it necessary to go online and tell the whole world about how screwed up I am, what makes you think I'm going to listen to you? You can make whatever thoughts you want about that. All you're doing is showing me how codependent you are by needing to change me. I don't need to change you. You can think whatever you want. You won't hurt my feelings. You won't make me mad at you. You won't make me feel uncomfortable. I won't feel any less about myself. I won't feel any more about myself. My work is still the same regardless of what you think of me. In fact, some of the best things I've heard in 12-step groups, and it makes me want to know, are you in 12-step groups? You could be. There's a lot of screwed up people in 12-step groups too. Not that you're screwed up, sorry. But one of the greatest things I learned in 12-step groups was it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. What other people think about you is none of your business. And then they took it another step and they said, what you think about other people is also none of your business, because my disease, I'm happy to call it that, my codependence, my other disease, which will stay unstated because it's an anonymous, my disease, my codependence, tries to do things like judge other people and compare myself to other people and all that. And so the stuff that comes through my head that I know is judgmental, is coming out of my insecurity, that's none of my business either. I just let it go. I don't have to act on it. More importantly, there's something else I learned. My thoughts about myself are none of my business. So when my head comes up and starts pointing fingers at me, it's also none of my business. What is my business? What I can do to feel better. What I can do to be a more productive person in society. What I can do to make myself happy. The bottom line is, are you happy? Is having this dialogue with me making you happy? You've already seen I'm not going to see things your way. I'm going to continue to think that if you are I don't even know you, so how do I know if you're a codependent or not? If you are in a relationship with an untreated borderline, you are by definition a codependent. There's probably, in my opinion, something unconsciously broken in you, as you said, a deep wound that is unresolved, and you're probably very unhappy. I'm just assuming. I don't know if it's true or not. I'm going to think that every time. Nothing you say is going to change that, nor is anything you say going to make me think that you're different from everybody else. It's okay with me if I'm wrong. And it's okay with me if you don't agree with me. Why does it bother you so much? You have a channel sharing information as a responsibility of sharing right terms. Here you're going to try and control me and tell me what is right and what is wrong. That sounds like black and white thinking to me. Even if you are not a therapist or a professional, they are just opinions of yours, but some people will look at your channel and then believe your opinions as facts. And what makes me different from all the other 150 billion people on YouTube who are doing the exact same thing? The problem isn't that. The problem is that you think that I'm wrong. If I was right and I was saying what you liked, then you would be saying, yeah, take responsibility for your platform. Well, just get honest. Stop trying to make it about other people. This is about you. You don't like what I'm saying because it's bothering you. It's bothering you to such an extent you have to keep arguing with me about it. Very codependent. If you want to make a change in the mental health community, I'm not trying to make a change anywhere. I have no interest in making a change in the mental health community. I have no interest in anything other than just first and foremost, sharing what helps me because I enjoy talking about it. It's good for me, it helps me. Number two, people keep telling me, do me a favor, Silverstorm, take a look at the comments. You're going to see that the percentage of comments are going to be more positive than negative. There's a lot more people saying that they want me to keep doing what I'm doing. So why is your opinion so important that I have to just do what you say and not follow the requests of others? And people are making requests. They're not telling me what I have to do or how I have to say this. They're saying, thank you, you've helped me a lot. What's so special about you that I have to follow your blanket statement that your way is the facts, your way is the truth, and your way is the way that's going to make a positive impact on the mental health community? Mike, I hate putting people in boxes or trying to diagnose anyone. Good. When did I ask you to do that? But please share with the community how you have become more conscious. I have, and I continue to do that. Solutions. I do that. Do you meditate? I've already told you this. I've told you my three-pronged approach numerous times. I've got a link up here, which I'm going to go into depth into all of those things. So I'm going to do all that. So don't try and tell me that I can't talk this way, but I can only do it this way. It's not your business to control how I run my channel. Why do you need to try and control how I run my channel? Are you going to therapy for codependent symptoms? Well, then you're all caps trying to smash down. I have more than symptoms. I'm happy to call it a disease. That doesn't necessarily mean I think I'm, super sick or something like that. But I do call it a disease because that works for me. A disease that gives me the feeling of it's something that's out of my conscious control. So it helps me because then I surrender to it. That's where the three-pronged approach comes from. Therapy, 12-step group, working the steps, and a spiritual practice. So you can use symptoms in all caps all you want. You're not going to bludgeon me into reasonableness into your way. You want to call it that? That's fine. I'm happy with that. All I care about is, are you happy? You don't seem to understand some of the basic concepts about how to live as a codependent. Number one, not controlling other people, not giving unsolicited advice, not sharing your feelings about how you feel about what people say. From what I'm seeing here, I'm not seeing any recovery in you. It doesn't mean that's true or not. I'm just going by what I see here. And I don't care if you change the way you do things or not. I don't care if you stay on the channel or leave. I'm giving you full freedom to do and be whoever you want. I'd like to hear more about your childhood. I talk about it all the time. Hear your thoughts. Again, this is just a really kind way of saying I'm trying to control how I do things. I hear what you're saying, and I'm already doing all that, and I'm going to continue to do all of that. I understand that you say the words conscious and unconscious. Okay? And I see you say, that's just my opinion, that's my belief. But as a human, we are all on a journey, and some are more conscious than others. And your point? I'm less conscious than you? What are you trying to say? So again, Mike, codependency. So here comes the facts. Not for me. For me, I need to look at it this way. Here's the facts. So again, very black and white, very codependent, very controlling. Codependency is a symptom of a trauma that has happened mostly in childhood, not a separate disorder. Somebody said the same thing about borderline personality disorder. They said borderline personality disorder is not a disease, it's a trauma response. The point is that of course it's a trauma response, but it's a trauma response that you don't have control over. We clearly see that with borderlines. They don't have control, if they're untreated, to their trauma response. It doesn't change the fact that it's extremely toxic to everybody. Same with codependency. Your trauma response, if it's coming out of an unconscious need to control, to fix, to unsolicited advice, to, passive aggressiveness. If you're unhappy, who gives a crap what word you call it? Are you happy in your life? You don't seem to be comfortable with your lack of control over me. What I say, how I say it, I'm just going by what you tell me. Not a separate disorder. I don't care if you call it a separate disorder or not. I seriously don't care. How does that minimize it? Why are you trying to minimize it? This is what I don't understand. You know that it's a problem. You know that you've had a problem with it. Why are you trying to minimize it? To me, if you were really comfortable, you'd be willing to go, let me see how deep this rabbit hole goes, because I want to get my life back. Why do you want to protect it? Actually, I really don't want an answer from that. These are hypotheticals. I don't care if you respond to me or not. At some point, I'm going to get bored with this because you're obviously just going to keep repeating yourself, and so am I. And here's a really ironic, coming up here, an ironic projection. So let's all enjoy this. Get your popcorn out. Now we're going to see some ironic, unconscious projection. It's easy to focus on others and blame. What have you done in this whole diatribe? I haven't even got through half of it yet. All you've done is focus on me and blame me and tell me that I'm wrong and try and change my opinion and triangulate and get me to listen to somebody else who you think is going to make me see things your way because they're an authority. All you've done is focus on me and blame. But if you and your channel stays the same, it will not just become a rant channel for others who have been in a relationship with someone who has cluster B traits or even a cluster A or cluster C. I don't know what you're talking about. So now you're going to attack my channel. And you're going to try to appeal to my ego. That if I don't do things your way, my channel will fail. Well, then let it fail. I don't care. What does it mean for you to be conscious? Is it to have a channel and continue to focus on a group of people who are all not the same, in your opinion? I'm looking for the similarities, not the differences. And that's one of the things, if you've been to 12-step groups, that's one of the things they say. Look for the similarities and not the differences. There are things that we have in common, and that's where we're going to heal. That's why I focus on what's the same and what's not different. You want to be different? Do it on your own time. I don't care. What's the next part of your journey, Mike? So now you want me to stop and move on to something else? I'm going to keep doing whatever I want to do. Have you ever been diagnosed with a disorder? Actually, I have. I can't remember what it was. It was a really long time ago. It was something I'd never heard of. And I decided to stop seeing a psychiatrist, and instead I started seeing a psychologist. Being codependent again is not a disorder. I don't care what words you use. It fucks your life up and it makes you miserable. That's good enough for me. I am not in denial about who I am. All right? The real thing that we all have to work on is going back to see what is to being drawn to toxic people. Why are you drawn to this toxic relationship you want to create with me? That's my question for you. If you want to be able to get past this, P-A-S-T is how it's spelled, not P-A-S-S-E-D. If you want to be able to get past this firmly held belief of yours, why do you need... You're the one that feels that I need to get past this firmly held belief, and it bothers you that I'm so firmly... But look at you, how firm you are in your belief. And I'm okay with you being firm in your belief. Just all of the projection, unconscious projection. You're projecting onto me everything I'm seeing about you. So again, I cannot diagnose you. You can diagnose me if you want. It might not be accurate, and I haven't asked you for it. But please seek out something greater than you have up to now. Why? Stop trying to tell me what to do. I don't need your help. I don't want your help. I haven't asked for your help. Please stop saying, are you happy? Oh. I'm not going to stop doing that. That's what this is all about. Great. Everyone has a definition of happiness. All right. Are you happy? If you are, why are you arguing with me? You keep black and white thinking. Again, projection. I'm seeing black and white thinking all over the place. And trying to simplify what is happiness and what is love. I don't care what it is. Are you happy? Are you comfortable? If you're not, do whatever you want to do about it. Anyway, I could go on and on and on, but you get the point here. Silverstorm. Yeah, I'm not going to do what you want. Go talk to your therapist about it, or go do a 4th step on it. I don't care if you change the way that you think. I don't care if my channel helps you or not. If it doesn't help you, move on. Or if you think it's that important, instead of trying to spend all your time arguing with me, you can do what I've done. Start your own channel. Tell people what really needs to happen. And in all seriousness, if you know more than I do, and I'm sure that you do know more than I do in all kinds of different ways, I'm not competing with you. You can start your own channel. You can even make videos about how wrong I am. I promise I won't come onto your channel and leave any comments. I promise I won't try and talk you out of how you think and how you feel. All right? So there's again another example in the flesh of the disorder, the disease, the relationship dynamic of codependency. Do with it what you will. All right, actually got work I got to do here, so I'm going to get off. All right, have a great day, night, evening, whatever it is where you are. I shall see you very soon.